Welcome everyone, thank you so much for joining, and a special thank you to every single one of you who has become a subscriber on Substack, Patreon, YouTube, or who has otherwise supported my work. I want you to know that I appreciate every single one of you. The White House is preparing for massive federal job cuts, not layoffs, but permanent cuts. Amid looming shutdown, as the clock is ticking toward a possible government shutdown on October the 1st, the Trump administration has taken an unprecedented and highly controversial step. It instructed federal agencies to prepare for mass permanent job cuts, not just temporary layoffs. This isn't business as usual. In typical government shutdowns, non-essential federal employees are told not to report to work. It's disruptive, of course, yes, but historically, once a funding bill passes, those workers return to their jobs, usually with back pay. But this time, the White House Office of Management and Budget, OMB, is escalating the situation. In a recent memo, agencies were directed to go beyond normal shutdown protocols. They are being told to identify programs that will lose funding at the end of September, and if those programs don't align with the administration's priorities, they will be gone. These agencies are told to draft plans to eliminate those jobs permanently, forever. Yes, you heard that right. This is not just a layoff. These are firings, mass reduction in workforce, permanent elimination of entire programs if Congress doesn't act. The memo doesn't mince words. It says programs without legal mandates to continue and without alternative funding, quote, are no longer statutorily required to be carried out. In simple words, it means that if a program isn't legally required and if it's not part of Trump's agenda, it is on the chopping block. According to Politico, agencies have already been told to submit their draft plans to these upcoming cuts. In a significant departure from past practices, the OMB is actually not releasing contingency plans publicly. As you imagine, this does raise real concerns about transparency. They should release them. This move has sparked immense backlash. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, for example, called it an attempt at intimidation, accusing the administration of using federal jobs and services as leverage in a political standoff. He warned that these firings would likely be overturned in court or reversed once funding is restored, but not without consequences, of course. Now, another person, Bobby Kogan, a former OMB official, put it even more bluntly. He said, "This is extortive. Give us what we want in a funding fight or we'll hurt the country." Clearly, this isn't just about budget spreadsheets in Washington. This could affect real people, real livelihoods, and the broader US economy, which is exactly why I chose to upload this video, because it does affect real people. And instead of cutting jobs, as the economy is slowing down anyway, which is a good way to just shoot yourself in the foot, why not decrease military assistance to foreign actors? That would save billions of dollars overnight, instantly. But that is not part of the plan as far as we're concerned. Roughly 4 in 10 federal employees are typically deemed non-essential during shutdowns. 4 in 10. That is hundreds of thousands of jobs potentially at risk if these cuts actually go through. And the ripple effects could be serious. Think about the unemployment rate. Think about their consumer demand and so many more things. There are payments that they would be late on. Economists warn that a mass reduction in federal workers, particularly if abrupt, could actually measurably slow economic growth, destabilize services, and hurt local economies, especially in states that are dependent on government operations. Some programs will continue no matter what, such as Social Security, Medicare, veterans benefits, military operations, law enforcement, ICE, Customs and Border Protection, and air traffic control. They're expected to be shielded from these cuts, but many others, especially those funded with discretionary appropriations, are not backed by mandatory funding, and those are the ones that are vulnerable. So what's driving the standoff? Lawmakers remain deadlocked over how to fund the government past September the 30th. The House has passed a stopgap bill to extend operations through late November, but Senate Democrats are now refusing to move forward without negotiations, particularly over issues like healthcare subsidies and cuts to Medicaid. So far, President Trump has shown very little interest in compromise. He canceled a planned meeting with Democratic leaders and posted on social media that talks will not resume until Democrats, quote, drop their demands. Some argue that the shutdown threat is just another way for Trump to consolidate power, to defund programs that don't align with his agenda. However, there's also a counter argument to that. The federal government has been notorious for its inefficiencies, and some programs actually do have to go. There's also a deeper concern here, of course. Beyond this shutdown, the national debt has just surpassed $37 trillion, and Americans are increasingly worried. In the latest monthly survey from the Peterson Foundation, 81% of voters now say that they're more concerned about the national debt today than ever before. And operating at a deficit to where you have a government shutdown threat every single year is clearly related to fiscal irresponsibility. Even more striking, 77% of voters, including majorities of Democrats, Republicans, and independents, say the debt should be a top 3 priority for lawmakers. And 60% believe that Congress is on the wrong track when it comes to fiscal responsibility. This is the highest number recorded in nearly a year. Michael Peterson, the foundation CEO, summed it up. Government shutdowns are economically disruptive and fiscally costly. Lawmakers should focus on providing certainty and stability, not chaos. So where do we go from here? If Congress can pass a clean continuing resolution, essentially a temporary funding measure, before September the 30th, then these job cuts won't be necessary. They won't happen likely. But without a deal, the federal government could enter October not only unfunded, but permanently downsized, depending on the White House next move. The stakes have never been higher for federal workers, of course, for families relying on government services, and for the stability of the U.S. economy as a whole, the stakes are very, very high. This isn't just another shutdown. It is a potential restructuring of the federal workforce, which arguably needed to be downsized, but perhaps not in a way that provides the most political benefits to a single party. This needs to be more balanced and reasonable. What are your thoughts on the looming mass firings? Share them in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts and your feedback on the subject. As always, thanks so much for watching. I hope that you consider supporting my work. Become a subscriber here on YouTube, on Substack, or on Patreon. I would love to see you on my alternative social platforms. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.